Have you ever wondered why some of the richest people on the planet didn't build anything flashy, futuristic, or revolutionary, yet somehow ended up becoming billionaires anyway? It's a strange idea, right? We're used to hearing about the visionaries who built huge tech companies, the ones whose stories fill documentaries and social media posts. But the truth is a lot quieter than you think. Many of the world's wealthiest individuals didn't chase hype. They didn't try to build the next Apple or Tesla. Instead, they focused on something far less glamorous. They built what the world considers boring businesses, and those boring businesses made them incredibly rich. Now, before we move forward, I want you to think about something. What if the very thing you're ignoring is the thing that could change your life? What if the business everyone else overlooks is the business that could build your freedom? Because when you start paying attention to the everyday problems around you, the ones people need solved no matter what the economy looks like, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. And once you understand why these boring businesses work, you'll realize that starting one is much simpler than you think. Boring businesses aren't the ones people brag about. They're not the ones influencers flex on Instagram. No one posts on TikTok saying, "Look at my glamorous septic tank cleaning company." But those are the companies quietly generating millions. These businesses don't rely on trends, and they don't disappear when something new goes viral. They survive because they solve basic human needs. They're dependable, predictable, and most importantly, recession-resistant. Take the incredible example of that one town in China, often called Sock City. It produces a mind-blowing number of socks every single year, billions of them. Statistically, 1 out of every 3 socks you'll ever wear probably came from there. Nobody there invented some groundbreaking technology. They didn't disrupt an industry. They did something simple. They focused on a product everyone needs: socks. And they made them at a scale that the world can barely comprehend. Tens of thousands of workers in one place, producing one essential item for the entire planet. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting. But it works. It works so well that the town generates billions almost silently. And that story alone shows you how powerful something boring can be. And now you have to ask yourself a very real question. What's stopping you from doing the same thing? Not socks necessarily, but something just as simple. Something that people always need. Something boring. The truth is, most people never seriously consider boring businesses because they misunderstand them. They think boring means unprofitable, outdated, or low income. But the opposite is true. Boring businesses are often the strongest, most durable, most reliable paths to building long-term wealth. When we talk about boring businesses, we're talking about things people need, no matter what year it is, no matter what's trending online, and no matter what new startup pops up next month. Think about services like carpet cleaning, pest control, trash collection, home repairs, water delivery, septic pumping, fire inspections, or even something as simple as repainting lines in a parking lot. These are the kinds of businesses that don't go viral, but never die. They're needed everywhere, from homes to schools to hospitals to stores. People don't get excited when they hear about them, but they pay for them repeatedly, and that's why they're gold. Nobody claps when someone says they run a waste management company. Nobody cheers when someone says they inspect fire extinguishers or maintain grease traps for restaurants. But those are the business owners buying apartment buildings quietly, while everyone else scrolls through TikTok. And they're not buying them with hype, they're buying them with cash flow. Look at the giants in these so-called boring industries. Companies like U-Haul, ChemDry, Cintas. They didn't become massive by being flashy, they became massive by being useful. U-Haul started with just one man renting trucks after World War II. Today the brand is everywhere. ChemDry turned carpet cleaning into a franchise empire. Cintas started with a guy picking up dirty rags from factories. No money, no fancy connections. Just a simple service the world needed. And today Cintas is worth tens of billions. Now let's talk about the king of boring businesses, Warren Buffett. People idolize him because he's one of the richest humans alive, but very few people understand how he got there. He didn't build an app. He didn't create a futuristic car. He invested in and bought companies that everyone else ignored. Insurance companies, furniture stores, candy companies. He owns a massive stake in Geico, a business built on premiums that customers pay every single month. He bought Nebraska Furniture Mart, a store that sells beds, tables and sofas. He bought See's Candies, literally a company that sells chocolate. Buffett is a billionaire because he understood something simple. People always need insurance. People always need furniture. People always buy candy. Even Coca-Cola, one of Buffett's favourite companies, is basically a global logistics machine. It's not about soda, it's about distribution. It's about owning shelf space, bottling operations, and delivery routes in almost every country on Earth. Coca-Cola is one of the most boring operations in the world, and one of the most profitable. So why don't people chase these kinds of businesses? Why is everyone trying to build the next explosive startup instead of a business that's almost guaranteed to work? The answer is simple: ego. Every beginner thinks they're supposed to create something revolutionary, something glamorous, something that impresses people. People don't want to run a trash company because it doesn't get applause. People don't want to pressure wash driveways or clean gutters because it doesn't get likes online. But the people who do, they get rich, quietly, consistently, predictably. And if you want to understand why our brains push us away from boring businesses, look at the peacock. A peacock grows a giant, colourful tail that actually makes its life harder. It slows the bird down, makes it more noticeable to predators, and costs tons of energy to maintain. But it signals strength to attract a mate. Humans do the same thing in business. We chase flashy ideas not because they're practical, but because they look good. We want our version of the peacock's tail, a business that sounds impressive, even if it's a terrible business, even if it never becomes profitable, even if it burns us out. But you don't have to play that game. You can build something real, stable, and lucrative. Your boring business doesn't limit your lifestyle. In fact, it can fund the lifestyle you want. Build the boring business first, then pursue your passions with the freedom it gives you. That's how people end up traveling the world while owning companies that run quietly in the background. So what boring businesses can you start? The list is longer than you think. HVAC installation, water cooler delivery, commercial cleaning, electronics repair, fire extinguisher inspections, portable toilet rentals, roofing, window cleaning, pest control. You don't have to do all of them. You just pick one. Pick the one your town already needs, the one that has demand, the one with few competitors, the one you can learn quickly. Some boring businesses are practically immortal. Think about dumpster rentals, septic services, plumbing, trash removal, funeral services, water systems, birth-related and medical services. These businesses don't go away. Ever. They're tied to the basic functions of human life. And believe it or not, some boring businesses even offer semi-passive income once set up. Things like laundromats, vending machines, parking lots, ATM routes, and storage units. They require work up front, but once they're running, they generate consistent cash flow with minimal involvement. No hype required. Why do boring businesses outperform? There are a few reasons. First, they solve recurring problems. Toilets clog, floors get dirty, cars break down. These are guaranteed problems, and guaranteed problems create guaranteed demand. Second, boring businesses serve basic needs that don't disappear during hard times. Third, they have low competition because nobody is bragging about them. Fourth, AI can't replace most of them because they require physical labour. Fifth, they win locally, not globally, so you're not competing with thousands of people. Sixth, they involve physical assets that hold value. And seventh, they compound, slowly at first, then massively. Now, let's talk about how you start one. The blueprint is simple. Step 1. Pick a boring service people already pay for. Learn how it works. Not forever, just enough to understand the labour and the value. Step 2. Start doing the work yourself using rented equipment if necessary. Get your first customers. Over-deliver. Ask for referrals. Step 3. Use your digital skills to outcompete old-school owners. Set up Google My Business, get reviews, use online booking tools, create a simple website, and post before and after photos. Step 4. Reinvest profits into better equipment. A vehicle, insurance, and part-time help. Step 5. Scale. Add more crews, more services, more locations. Step 6. Protect your growth with systems, automation, and strong customer service. If you follow that path, you can turn almost any boring business into $1 million operation. And here's the exciting part. Right now is one of the best times in history to start. Because nearly half of small business owners are over the age of 55. They're retiring. They're tired. They don't use modern tools. And they're leaving massive gaps in the market for younger entrepreneurs to take over. So here's the truth about boring businesses. You don't need to invent something new. You don't need millions in funding. You don't need to go viral. You need to solve a real problem consistently. You need to build systems instead of chasing hype. And you need to reinvest instead of showing off. While everyone else flexes on social media, you quietly build assets. While they chase trends, you build something timeless. While they talk, you execute. And while they try to look successful, you actually become successful. Because at the end of the day, boring businesses build wealthy people. And if you're willing to pick one, start small and let time do its work, you might just end up owning more than you ever imagined. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, and any results depend on your own decisions and actions.